Alright, folks. I finally wrapped up my meeting. Went and grabbed another cup of coffee. Quick hard-boiled egg. Chris has some lunch coming here in a little bit. So we're gonna be eating, actually it'll be dinner because it's about 3 o'clock. Well, it'll be probably about 3 o'clock by the time she brings it in. Usually I go live about an hour earlier, but we had a meeting today, so we are off to do our stream now. Continuing to just hang out. Everybody's excited for tomorrow morning. Looks like chat is already bouncing off the walls. Welcome aboard, everybody. Detroit says, much love, Mr. Ren. Hope the coffee is hot. Congratulations on the long journey. You and your wife just saw your post on YouTube yesterday. Thank you. I was just, I was literally just felt like saying something nice about my wife. Our anniversary is actually in October. This October we will have been married 14 years or 13 years. 13 years. I think we'll be married 13 years this October. 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 13 years. We've been together for 50 but married for 13 this October. Punk Epic says, have to travel for work tomorrow, but I'll be bringing my travel Series S with me and living vicariously through you until this weekend. Nice. All right, let me hop over to check the YouTube chat really quick. There's so much chat, I'm going to the individual chats really quick to catch up because there's too much on my multi-chat thing to see. What's up, Commander Red Rum? Old Man Gaming. Jesus. Pookie. Well, I'm glad you have reignited your love for the game. What's up, Vivi Valkyrie? Yeah, if you're unsure, just live vicariously through the streams until you decide whether you want to play or not. Beauty Smith says, gotta pause my own Starfield gameplay to say hello. What is up, Beauty Smith? Go back to playing. Don't stress. Old Man Gaming says, Renfell's been great with helping us PS5 gamers get ready. Thank you for that. We just dropped another guide like an hour, 2 hours ago. We did, I've already got a video prep for tomorrow morning, and then we'll have more guides coming out. I'm going to try to do daily guides. It just kind of depends on the schedule, but I am going to be trying to do daily guides for the next week or so as we get into the new content for free lanes and everything else. Let's sign a petition until they make an NPC of Renfail. Thank you. Someone who just got recently married, what advice would you give to someone who have a long marriage? Don't be a dick. And realize that it's not all about you. A marriage, not even a marriage, any successful long-term relationship is about both parties realizing they have to meet in the middle. There are lots of compromises. Patience is the key. Way too many people get married because of finances or things. You got to meet in the middle. We definitely have our days. We've had plenty of arguments. But the key is being willing to always push the other person ahead of you. There's no guarantees in life, but you can do the best you can. Is the outpost building easy to learn, or is it more difficult? It's about the same, I would argue, as Fallout 4. It's the same principle. You need resources to build things. Things require other things to work. You'll need power supplies. You'll need gardens to build plants. I have a whole outpost building guide series somewhere from like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Will Daddy says the grifters are out in force today crying about why people are hyped for the game. Oh, they've been out in force. The funniest thing ever is when people try to tell me something like, they'll constantly say how, every time especially on my TikTok, there'll always be somebody who'll say something like, oh, congratulations to the 2 people who still play this game. Oh, congratulations to the 3 people who still play this game. And it's like, there are tens of millions of people who have played and continue to play Starfield. And the fact that it has been #1 on the pre-order store for the PlayStation for 3 weeks running now shows that there is a massive Starfield audience. So take your 3 people and get fucked. Thanks for the Twitch sub, Paul from Leicester. Appreciate it. What's up, Shiny?
I don't know. Kind of
One more sleep. That is true.
Too much in negotiating with the FC.
I do not remember what we were working on when we were all hanging out earlier today. That's right. Haters gonna hate. Especially when the game has been #1. No, I watched that animated video. It was cool. But I don't think we're gonna do a reaction to it. I've got a video already recorded for tomorrow morning. I've got a video coming out tonight. Tomorrow morning, as a reminder, everybody, we will be starting our stream later tomorrow morning. My current plan is to sleep in. I'm going to turn off my alarm and sleep tomorrow morning. Instead of starting my stream at 5 a.m., I'm going to, hopefully, I would love to sleep until like 7. I don't know if that's possible. But just my plan is to, whenever I get up, I'll start my stream. And then what I'm probably going to do tomorrow morning, if my leg isn't bothering me too much, is I would like to go for a run tomorrow morning. I normally go for a run after my streams, but goddamn, I would love to go for a run before my stream, if I can, and then come back, have breakfast, and then just start with everybody, hang out for a couple of hours, and then as soon as everything goes live at 9 a.m., we're going to switch over to the PS5 and go from there. By the way, why I was, if you didn't catch the news, I retweeted it on Twitter, X. Pillars of Eternity, which is one of my favorite CRPGs of all time, started testing turn-based mode in beta a few months ago. We did play that. It was fun. Thanks to the Twitch sub, Punk Epics. They just launched the turn-based mode for Pillars of Eternity today on all PC platforms. It's not available on console yet, but it is available on Steam, GOG, through their app, and through the Xbox game, through the Game Pass PC. So if you own Pillars of Eternity, you can get the update for free. If you have never played it and you wanted to play it in the past, but you didn't play it in the past because it was real-time with pause and you always wanted to maybe give it a shot, it just went turn-based. They have a turn-based mode now in that game. Highly, this is the game that came before Deadfire, which came before Avowed. It's the same world as Avowed. Anyway, turn-based mode. I didn't do a news article on it yet. TT Plays coming in for a 7-month renewal over on Twitch. Thank you for that. All right. Anyway, so that went live along with the Terran Armada animated video. So there's been a couple of things that happened while I was offline. Jesus, guys. Thank you. Like, thank you. Thanks for the Twitch sub, Bandit. It's Bandit Susan. Anyway, lots of stuff has happened while I was taking a nap and coming back from everything. It is very common for people to talk bad about things they haven't tried. Yep. It would be a lot cooler if they landed on the moon on this trip. That's a good question. Banana Man says, I am aware of your recent video about New Game Plus. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on how some folks have found a great deal of content by replaying that content. Can you make it spoiler free for new players? Yeah, I mean, I could talk a little bit about that without getting into, I mean, not completely spoiler free because I have to talk about the concept of New Game Plus to be able to talk about New Game Plus. I don't know where my pen, there it is. So, hang on, I gotta timestamp this really quick as we're talking here. This will be a good video to pull out. So, some thoughts for folks who have found a great deal of replayability by the concept of New Game Plus in this game. So, without spoiling the story too much, I think it's a known factor at this point that this game revolves around the concept of a multiverse. And the New Game Plus mechanic is essentially you're experiencing those multiverses. So when you go to do a new game, I'm not really spoiling anything by saying that, because there are story things that are tied to this that I'm not going to spoil. When you're going through, that's the concept of this game, is that when you get to the end of this universe, you can keep going in this universe and do an unlimited playthrough in the place that you started, right? In the original universe. But you can also choose to go on to the next, and then the next, and then the next. And each time you go through, there is an RNG chance that you're going to have a different universe. And I believe as of this recording, there are 10 variants that you could potentially get. There may be more that are added over time. I don't know. No one knows. But the concept is such that if I get a 250-hour playthrough from my first playthrough, then I could theoretically get a 250-hour or greater playthrough on the next playthrough, because I might do things that I didn't do the first time. Especially if you're someone like me who plays a roleplay character. At least my first playthrough was a roleplay character who was very much a space scoundrel, and then I made this because my first character did not go through the Unity. I was like, nope, this character refused it. This character said, I like my relationship with Andreja. I'm happily married to her. I like the life I have built in this world. I just want to grow old and die. I don't need to go off and have this, multi-dimension adventure. That was my first character. Then I made this character, and this character is now like closing in on 600 hours of gameplay. I have gone through the Unity 3 different times, as is evident by that big-ass motherfucking Starborn ship behind me and this really cool-ass Starborn armor that I'm wearing. And so I have gone through and I have seen multiple variants now, and this character, should I choose to continue to play this character, would be able to go through again. Now, because I've only gone through 3 times in 600 hours of playthrough, I'm not at 600 hours, by the way. I'm around 580 with this character, I think, like 575, 580 with this character. That's how much I have gotten out of this character by going through the Unity 3 times. And if you look at what I've done in this 3rd version of the Unity, the only thing I've done is I did the Shattered Space DLC and the Trackers Alliance content, but I've not done any of the main quests, and I've not done any of the faction quests. So I could go do the Freestar Rangers again. I could do Ryujin Industries again. I could do the UC Vanguard again. I could do SysDef or the Crimson Fleet. I could do... There's easily 150 hours of content that I could do just questing with this character if I wanted to go through that again. On top of which I could get sidetracked and decide that I want to go build outposts again or do more ship stuff or whatever. So I've only seen, in my 3 times through the Unity, I have only seen 1 variant on the universe. The variant that I got, so the first time I went through, it was exactly the same. The second time I went through, so like I do it this way. First time I went through, exactly the same. Second time I went through, there was a huge difference. There was a huge difference in the universe, and it impacted my gameplay significantly. Like, my story was completely different in that second universe. I'm trying not to spoil spoilers. I'm trying not to spoil story stuff here. My second universe was dramatically different. And I went through that playthrough like, this is wild. Like, yes, I'm doing the same quest lines, but it's dramatically different because of that reason. And you're also getting additional dialogue options because you are the Starborn, right? So you have You know things from your previous run-throughs, so there is that aspect of it too. So if I wanted to, I could keep going and seek out the other 9 types of universes that are there to be explored, right? I think there's even a mod that you can install because I'm on the Xbox. I know on the console I've been told, I shouldn't say I know, I have been told on the console you can actually pick the universe variants via the console command. I don't know how that works. I've been told that you can get a mod on the Xbox that allows you to choose which variant you're going to see. So there are ways to pick the variants that you're going to get, or you can just do it organically. And the thing of it is like, even though you don't necessarily take your ships through with you or your outposts, here's what you do take with you. All of your skills go with you, and you just keep leveling up forever. And all of your powers go with you, and you can keep leveling up forever. So in terms of replayability, someone asked me yesterday, well, you've written a final review. How could you have possibly done a final review for this game if you've never actually finished it? And I said, well, because technically Starfield doesn't have a definite, definitive ending, because you can keep going through the Unity over and over and over and living out new lives and, you know, having new relationships and exploring new quest lines, repeating old ones with different variations because of different companions that you have with you, making different decisions, having different conversations, having different outcomes. And it's not like traditional games where when you start a new game, like most games, if you start a new game plus, you're starting a brand new character and you're starting over from scratch. Now there are exceptions to that. Jedi Survivor actually did it that way, where you keep all of your skills from your previous playthrough, and so you have all of your lightsaber abilities and everything else that you did when you did your first playthrough. So you could start off your second playthrough much more powerful, and it naturally you can turn it off. But what it does is when you start your new game plus in Jedi Survivor, it makes all of the enemies way more difficult. Because it's like you have all these powers, we're going to make the enemies more difficult by default, and they're going to have special new moves that require you to learn how to play the game again. You can turn that off if you want to and just play it the same way you did the first time. So there are some games that do that, but most games it'll be like, oh, you could start a new game plus, and we'll do something like you'll get some additional hit points, maybe some additional skills and everything else, but you're still essentially playing over a brand new character, and you have to level everything up all over again, even if you start off with some basic perks. This game is like, no, you are this individual who can go through the universes over and over and over. And I will say this, I never focused on any of my playthroughs. I never focused on the powers. I still only have, I don't even have 5 of the powers. I haven't went to all the temples and found the powers. And I still haven't leveled up all the powers. Most of these are like level 1. I think I might have a couple that are like level 2 or something. But most of these are like level 1 powers, right? I never worried about the powers. I've always just been a gunplay guy. I play this as like a science fiction game. When I was at Bethesda in early March, and Tim Lamb showed us his maxed out rank 10, I have every power in the game leveled up, and I have all these cool weapons, and he went on this like, I am a superhero in space with all these abilities, and he's like, I'm gonna do a gravity well, which like sucks all these guys in together. I'm gonna launch a grenade, blows them all up. I'm gonna freeze time so that everyone gets frozen, and I'm gonna pull out this automatic rifle with exploding ammo, and I'm just gonna and mow down like 20 guys. Then I'm gonna use this other special power, and I'm gonna force leap 150 feet away. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to use a force lunge ability, which launches me at the enemy. And like I hit them with a cool melee ability. And then I'm going to do a force push where I like push like 30 guys out of the way. And I'm just watching him do these super moves like he's a freaking superhero. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with the powers in this game. I've played a lot of Starfield. I didn't know you could do that. I had never looked at powers before and went, I want to go grind. And now that I've seen that, I walked away from that presentation when he was playing in front of us, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go on this new playthrough that I'm going to do on the PlayStation 5, I'm going to go focus on powers finally. And because of what's coming with the new update with free lanes and everything tomorrow, you no longer have to go through. Previously, if you wanted to level up these powers, you had to go through the Unity and find the temples all over again. So rank 1 is the first time, your original universe. Rank 2 is you're in the second universe and you go to all the temples all over again. And then to get to rank 3, you had to go into the third universe and do it all over again. Now what you can do is you can use the quantum essences that you can get from Starborn encounters, and you can use those to level up your Starborn abilities in the first universe. So you don't have to go through to the other universe if you don't want to, and you can still achieve that godlike state with your first character. So, you know, there is a lot to be said for the replayability of going through the Unity and what that adds to the experience for those people who want to have that story of I am the Starborn. I am a multi-dimension hopping being, but the new update also adds more nuance to that if you want to stay. But also, they've also added the quantum box, which now allows us to take select items through with us. So if you've spent a lot of time in the first universe and you've got these really cool weapons and these really cool spacesuits that you've spent a lot of time using X-Tech to mod, and you want to take those through with you, like, there's a lot of additional layers. There are more layers that have been added to that whole experience of going through the Unity and experiencing the different universes. So I realize that because you can't talk about Unity without spoiling some aspects of it, but I have tried to keep that relatively spoiler light. So hopefully that answered the question. But yeah, there is a ton of replayability in this game, and that's all just vanilla. Because you know what else you can do in this game once you've finished all the vanilla content? And I'm watching chat. I have not, Joe, because I haven't spent a lot of time with the powers, so I can't do a video on the powers because I haven't spent a lot of time using the powers. So I'm not the right person to make videos about the powers yet. I'm sure I'll make one in the future. But like, if you look at, like, right now I have, anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat who are talking about they have 1,000 hours in the game, 2,000 hours in the game, 3,000 hours in the game. They've been through the Unity 10 plus. I know Bubbaloni Rising, who is also streaming a lot of Starfield, he has done, I want to say 11 times. I think he just said he went through the 11th time and his character is parked and ready for the update. So there are people out there who have literally gone through and maxed their powers, you know, by going through 10 different times. But you can keep going and just live out that power fantasy. And what I was getting at, though, is that there is so much that you could do just in the vanilla version of the game. And then you get into creations. And now you've got potentially unlimited potential because of all of the things that you can do with the creations. And adding, especially considering to be like, well, I'm going to go to this other universe, and this time around, I'm going to install these 5 mods which add these storylines, and I'm going to do those. And then I go through the Unity again, I uninstall those 5 mods, and I'm going to install these other 10 mods, and I'm going to try something completely different this time. And then I'm going to go through again, I'm going to uninstall those mods, and I'm going to install 15 new mods, and try these things out. That's the beauty of the mods, and the new universe thing that you can do with New Game Plus and the Unity. It's I would argue that, and I think Bubbalonia said this the other day. Someone had asked, what's the number one I think it was the question was, what's your favorite feature from Starfield? And I believe his answer was the New Game Plus Unity functionality. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good answer. Like, I think that is, if you ask people what is one of the number one things that that Bethesda has done with Starfield, that is the best thing they've done apart from all the other games. Like, what is the one thing that you can say defines Starfield? And I would argue it's the New Game Plus. You could say 1,000 planets. You could say ship combat. You could say you could say other things. But, you know, outpost building, well, we technically have that in Fallout 4. Gun combat, well, we technically have that in Fallout. You know, it's the same companion system. It's the same skill-based system as Skyrim. There's the powers and shouts as Skyrim. You know, there's things that you can pull out of all of the Bethesda games, but that Unity feature, that new game plus mode that they have, is a pretty unique thing to Starfield. And I don't think a lot of games have done it that way, because most games it's like you can do it one time, you'll get a new game plus that you do one time, and then that's it. If you go play the game a third time, it's the exact same time as the second time, because the new game plus mode doesn't add anything. Whereas with the RNG nature of the different universes, the multiverse thing that's happening here, there's a whole lot more of additional potential of going through a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, eighth, a ninth, a 10th, an 11th, a 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th time. Anyway, good question. Really good question. Got to figure out what I want to title that video. I think we can call that, like, what is the replayability of Starfield? That's a pretty good title. Something along those lines. Great question. Am I going to do Skyrim? I will eventually make my way back to Skyrim at some point. There's some King Ath creations I want to try. I want to try the Bard's College stuff. I still have not finished Dragonborn DLC. All right. How did I get that suit? I think somebody already answered that this suit and that ship are from going through the Unity. You get a different... So when you go through the Unity, I mentioned it's an RNG thing, what universe you get. It's also an RNG thing, what suit you get, and what you get different stats on your suits. So like this suit has unique stats that could be different for other people. What do I mean by that? If you go look at my suit, it has those stats on the right-hand side. Ecolas says nobody's going to play a game a third time, especially when it's a 100-hour game. We have to work. Oh, you are so incorrect on that, Ecolas. The fact that my chat has hundreds of people in it right now, hundreds of people who have gone through multiple times of this game. You are so incorrect. Do you not understand how many people play Bethesda games and how many people play Bethesda games for hundreds and thousands of hours? Like, I would argue that any Bethesda fan who's played Skyrim and Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Oblivion, there are so many Skyrim fans who have been through, not just Skyrim, so many Bethesda fans in general who have been through their games 3, 4, 5, 1,000 hours of time. Like, claiming that nobody's going to play a game a third time, especially when it's a 100+ hour game because we have a day job. Yeah, that's just not true. Fundamentally not true. Astro Debbie says, I'm probably on my 5th playthrough of Skyrim and Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4. TT Play says, what I heard was I need to quit my job. Yeah, you can also increase the difficulty, decrease the difficulty. You can change all sorts of stuff in the game options. Yari says, Bethesda games are the only games I play multiple times. No other company has me replay their games. Westrex says, I have over 2,000 hours in Starfield. Detroit says, I've played AC Valhalla 4+ times with over 5,000 hours. So we're proving that statement wrong on so many levels across all the chats. This is awesome. This is the game that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started playing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue playing it forever just because this is the game that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. I could keep going. Like, the New Game Plus, like... Icy says the only game on my Steam account with more hours than Starfield is Stellaris. Jesus Christ, you scared the shit out of me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lunch has been served, everybody. This might be a little noisy to eat on stream. But I got... So, it is... She made a big old pot of... So, that is a beef bone thing. That's a shin bone, right? So it's chunks of beef with the bone in, cooked with... she's been cooking outside all day today on the outside stove. I gotta get those out of the way. It's red beans, but she also dumped... It's a pot of red beans and beef bone in with... You know Frito-Lay's chips? These are the Fritos with like chipotle and chorizo flavor, and so she put some of those in here to add a little bit of extra oomph to it. And that is lunch. Thank you, baby. No, the chips have salt. I don't need salt. Thank you. So thanks to Chris. Do I think you should play this? No, I don't. I don't think you should play this. I think you should watch people play this, Derek. And then if you decide that you like what you see after watching people play this, you can make up your own mind. And you should definitely watch different people. Don't watch just me. Go watch other people. Go watch other streamers. Watch Bubbleonia. Watch Thorgan. Watch Sweet Pea. Watch Arcane Gearsmith. Watch all these other people. Watch Pedro. Watch all the people like... There's a Starfield podcast that just started called Starfield After Dark that aired its first episode last week. A bunch of Starfield content creators on it. Second episode is out Wednesday night, which is tomorrow night? Wednesday night. There's going to be a second episode out this week. I'm on the third episode, which is the 15th, next week. Go watch those content creators play Starfield. And if you like what you see, buy the game. But don't ask me if you should play this. It's your money. You're an adult. Definitely watch lots of other people playing it. If you feel let down by a game XMK2CATX1, that's a you problem. I don't suffer that mental affliction. Especially considering you just said something like you have 3,000 hours in Dune Awakening and you feel let down by the swordplay. Like, if you have over 3,000 hours in a game, if you have more than 50 hours in a game, you lose the right to claim that you feel let down by the game. Because if you put hundreds of hours in a game, you got your money's worth and you don't get to say that you were let down. That's a bullshit statement. So, no, you were not let down. You just have played so many hours that you're getting bored. Big difference. Bone in, baby. Best way to eat your beef. Beef tallow in your stew. I'm going to sit here and eat my lunch. We'll continue answering questions and stuff, and then we're going to go. We'll actually play some here in a bit, guys. But chat is rocking, so feel free to keep the questions coming. Every game over 50 hours is definitely worth it. Absolutely. You'll spend more than that on a 3-hour date at the movies? In most cases, yeah. I agree, Studman. Tomorrow can't get here quick enough. Astro Debbie says, what's the favorite thing your wife cooks? I don't know that there's a favorite thing. There are some staples. She makes really good caldo de res, and just any of her beans and lentils. So my wife's mother, my mother-in-law ran a restaurant for years, and so our whole family eats really good. There are quite a few melee weapons in this game, and there are lots of melee abilities, but I am definitely a gunplay kind of guy. So yeah, I've not spent a lot of time on the melee in this game. I actually have a video on that, Detroit. Thoughts on people who come into video games with expectations from their last game. It's on YouTube. I think the video title is Why I Don't Have Expectations for Any Games That I Play. Because it's not my right to have expectations. My only responsibility as a consumer is to take whatever the creative visionaries have created, whether it's a musician, the book author, the game writer, the game director, whatever those people have created. My only responsibility as a consumer, as the audience, is to take what is presented with me, consume that, and then leave a review based on my consumption of that product. If I went into that with expectations, then I am already ruining the experience, which is why comparison is the thief of joy. If I were to go into that and say, well, I wanted this game to be this, and it wasn't, and then I'm upset because the game... You're going to see that a lot with people who will say things like, this game was supposed to be like Skyrim, but it's not, and so I hate it. That's on you for coming into this game expecting it to be Skyrim. It was never marketed as Skyrim. If you thought it was Skyrim in space, that's kind of a you problem. Todd promised me. Did he? Did he really promise you personally? Or did you misread and misinterpret a magazine article or an interview where you brought your own expectations into that and you misinterpreted what was said? Food for thought. I think once you cross, man, I would argue that if you play any game for more than 10 hours, like, you know in 10 hours if you're going to like the game or not. And if you play a game for more than 10 hours and then you complain that it's not any good, I'm kind of like, really? Because I can tell you this much. If I don't like the game in the first 10 hours, I'm not playing it. I'm not playing a game for more than 10 hours if it's not any good. Or if I'm not resonating with something in it. Ain't no way I'm going to make myself suffer for 30, 40, 50 hours. But yeah, if you've played a game for more than 50 hours, I think you lose the right to make any negative statements at all. And if you've got hundreds or thousands of hours in a game, get the fuck out of here. I played 3,000 hours of this game. There's nothing to do. The planets are all empty. Sure, honey. There you go, Pixel. You played Black Myth Wukong for 3 hours and I couldn't do it. Perfect example. I played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. The demo was super fun. I spent $60 on the game, played it, and then I went, yeah, I don't like this. And I quit streaming it, and I just moved on. Yeah, we only did a single stream of High on Life 2. I did it for a single stream, 2 hours, never went back. Towerborn, streamed it for 2 hours, never went back. It's okay to play a game and be like, nope, not for me, and move on. But you'll notice I didn't make any reviews trashing those games. I just moved on. I don't play with mods, so I can't recommend mods, but what I can say is that Babylonia Brizzy, who is one of our good friends and another fellow Bethesda streamer, is currently putting together a list on a... He's going to create a video that is going to give you a recommendation for what mods you should play. Because I keep getting asked, and I don't really play with a lot of mods, so I can't answer those questions with any authority. But, what was I munching on? My wife made delicious bone-in meat and red beans with some Chipotle Frito-Lays. And it is devoured, other than this poor little bone remnant that I'm going to take to the kitchen and very quickly suck all the marrow out of. I'm not doing that on stream, because sucking the marrow out of the bone is messy and noisy. So I'm going to run to the kitchen very quick, finish off that bone, and come back, and we're actually going to play. So I'll be right back, everybody. All right. Chocolate chip cookie down the hatch. I got a half cup of coffee in front of me. And we should have a little bit before I got to go feed the cats. About 30 minutes I'll need to go feed the cats. You should definitely plan on mods being broken tomorrow, everybody. Just prepare yourself for that mental eventuality. It's probably going to happen. I do not play Nintendo games. Nope. Nor have I for many years. Thanks for the guild membership, Noctis. I love that lantern mod in Skyrim, Studman. The one that puts the lantern on your hip. Doak says there's nothing but spider monkeys on my feet now. Oh, that's some funny shit, man. Doing R&D into spider monkeys because of my homestead channel. Oh, that is funny stuff. Yes, tomorrow is going to be a good day, everybody. Am I missing my cat from Crimson Desert? The fact that I have 6 cats in real life. I get my dopamine hit from cat snuggles in real life.
What a sprawling city! I want to go shopping for clothes, so I can blend in better.
Well, honey, you better start putting out before I go buy you clothes, because you're not my romance partner, so you better have your own budget for that shit. Can't wait to start collecting all the figurines. I highly agree. Packaged and unpackaged, please.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving.
I will be doing a vanilla playthrough on my PlayStation playthrough. This character, this playthrough, I'm probably at the point where I'm ready to start installing mods, but not to mention, Sahima, I have given you 2 very expensive and very unique spacesuits. And you're over here complaining about, I need new clothing.
Hope life is treating you well. Let me know if I can get you anything. Hey there. Always nice to see a new face. First time in New Atlantis?
I come in here all the time.
Nope, sorry. Can't pull one over on me. I'm good with faces, and I don't recognize yours.
Yeah, Bethesda mods shouldn't
Go ahead
break.
and make yourself comfortable.
Anything that's not a
new
Bethesda
guy.
mod will possibly probably
Let me know if
break.
there's anything I can get you.
Business seems to be booming.
Yep. Spaceport traffic keeps me pretty busy. But just between you and me, I've got something in the works that'll change everything. A new drink that'll make this place famous. Galaxy-wide.
Let's do it. Anybody who has an opinion about this game coming to PlayStation is living in the past, and they think that console wars are still a thing, and they haven't been a thing for a decade. So those types of mentalities don't impact me whatsoever, because I don't pay attention to Neanderthals and that sort of thinking.
You would love it, I guarantee. Only, I can't make you one right now. Don't have the ingredients. I made a deal with a hauler to bring me some small samples of an ingredient I think will make all the difference. But it never showed up. Turns out the guy I hired was also hired by a few other folks. The kind of folks who ship less than legal cargo. Security got wind, and the whole lot was
Thanks for the
found
super
it.
chat. I'll read
Now
that
they're
message in just a
sitting on
minute.
it,
Darth
taking
Vader.
their sweet time like they always do. It's killing me.
Darth Super Chat coming in. Darth Vader, the Game Cat, coming in with a $10 Super Chat. I think for my first playthrough, I'm going to go with Pilgrim. The starting skills look really nice, and I think role-playing as one would be fun. Hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow. Thank you for that. I think that's one of the cool things about the backgrounds is it's all just a really cool roleplay starting point. And because you get some really unique roleplay conversation options as well, it's just a nice way to add some additional flavor to the playthrough. Oh yeah, it definitely takes a lot of time to grind up all your skills.
See, this only works if we both talk. Otherwise, I'm just giving a speech, and I hate public speaking.
Alright, so I'm sure whatever it is, we could concoct a perfectly good substitute.
That's a nice offer and all, but I kind of want to keep this proprietary. Secret, even. No offense. And really, I'm not even certain this is what I need to finish the recipe. I think it is. I need to get my hands on that cargo.
Sounds like you need a helping hand or two.
I really do. It's gonna keep me awake nights if I don't try. Before we say anything else, I am in no way asking you to do anything that might violate any of the many, many laws in place here in New Atlantis or the larger United Colonies.
No,
This is
not
just
me.
one friend talking to another friend, asking if maybe that friend could possibly find a way to get her important cargo out of the impact. And if, hypothetically, that were done in a less than 100% legal way, well, that might not be the worst thing in the world. You, with me on this?
This is probably going to be the first quest I do tomorrow when I get to New Atlantis. Alright, whatever I need to do.
God, you have no idea what a relief this is. I'm obviously not expecting you or anyone to go in guns blazing and taking hostages or something. I just figure there has to be a way to get what I need.
Alright. Any information to go off of?
I know a few things, but not much. The cargo is being held down at the spaceport, not in the security office. Still, they use the same access cards. If you had one, it'd work. How or why you would have a UC security access card is none of my business, of course. I'm sure I'm better off not knowing. Beyond that, the ship decks over there might also be able to get in. I don't know any of them, or I'd be talking to them instead of you. No offense.
Don't worry, I'll figure something else.
I'm not worried. I'm annoyed. Wait, are you saying I should be worried?
There you go,
No,
Garrett.
of course not. It'll be fine. Totally fine. I trust you.
So Garrett said I have a PS5 Pro, an Xbox X, and a high-power PC. I don't care about which platform is the best, I just want to play the game. There you go. I have a streaming PC, I have a gaming PC, I have an Xbox Series X and a PS5 Pro, and a shitty old mobile phone, smartphone. I do not care, I just play the games. I already own this game on the Xbox Series X, and I can play anywhere because I have the Ultimate Edition of the game, and I can play it on the PC if I want to, because of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. But I'm also going to be playing this game from scratch tomorrow on the PS5 Pro, where I bought a different version of the game because I own most of the really good games. Like I
I'm not
own
going anywhere.
Red Dead Redemption 2 on the
Yes, I can
Xbox and the
wait.
PC. Cyberpunk 27, Xbox, and the PlayStation. Sorry, Red Dead is Xbox and PlayStation. Cyberpunk, Xbox, PlayStation. Witcher 3, Xbox, PlayStation. Skyrim, Xbox, PlayStation. Fallout 4, Xbox, PlayStation. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, Xbox, PC. This game, Xbox, PlayStation. Like, if you love the games you play, you'll buy them on multiple platforms and have fun all the places. There you go.
Stop by anytime you'd like to catch up.
Fancy armor you got there. Almost puts the Marines to shame. Almost.
Almost, sweetheart. My armor is way cooler than anything else you will ever deign to wear in your entire life. I gotta remember somebody gave me a hack to open up the photo mode Photoshop. Jesus. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, the lighting sucks. Are we going inside where there's good lighting?
Another day, another shift.
Stop moving!
I can just file the invoice.
Alright. Because you know what? He insulted me. We gotta do a screenshot now, because my drip is way better than his drip. We gotta do some poses now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Say what? What'd you say? My drip ain't good. What? So the first thing we gotta do is we gotta take a screenshot of that. Thanks T-Row for the sub over on Twitch. That's right. That is the hang on. We got to put this out on social real quick, Studman. So let me screen grab this as well. And let's get that set on social media. Because that's definitely a screen grab worthy of stuffing out on socials really quick. Alright. Do that. Save it as my drip. So fine. And then let's go to Twitter X, Blue Sky, and Facebook. Hey, Cammy's out there doing her thing on Twitter. What's up, Cammy? Cammy is a badass. Cammy's the influencer manager for Bethesda. She is a super sweet human being. Hang on. What did Studman say? I gotta go capture. I gotta find his comment. Got a problem with my drip, friend? There we go. Copy paste. Alright, that is out on Twitter X. We're putting it up on Blue Sky right now. And then we're going to go to Facebook. Alright, that photo is now out on all of our socials. Best part about the screen grabs in this game, everybody, is they show up as your loading screens. If you weren't aware of that. Alright, let's get back into the game here. Where did I put my controller? There it is.
Is when they come in if you want.
Thank you, but that's what.
Yes, the photo mode in this game rocks. Favorite Bethesda game, asks Voodoo. Oh, it's this game. 100%. It was Oblivion before this game. And then this game. And again, I always like to remind people this was not my favorite game from the beginning. At the beginning of this game, when it first launched, my original review, I called this a meh Oh, Astro Dibby claimed a Renfail rant. Hold up, I didn't see it. We're gonna have to go on a Renfail rant here in a second, guys. Stay tuned. Give me a second, Astro Dibby. I didn't see it till just now. That was about
Your
5
file
minutes ago.
says you have a military.
I really wish I could get audio cues for those, but I can't, so. This game, by the way, on like a 4K TV, so I've got a 50-inch 4K smart TV on the other side. Trust me, this game on like ultimate 4K mode on Xbox on a big old screen TV. I can't wait to see what it looks like on the PS5 Pro. Like, but yeah, I said meh. This game was a good game, not a great game when it launched, and it has become my favorite game over time. It did not start off that way. So I need to get down here where I can get a better view of my ship for the background. That'll work. As we start this rant. Okay. Yeah, my day-to-day, okay, mans, I have a 32-inch curved 4K MSI monitor. That's my daily. That's the one I stream on a day-to-day basis. So I only stream in 1920 by 1080, but I play everything in 4K. This game looks amazing. All right, let me get the timestamp here. 08 Renfail rant. So, Astro Dibby just claimed a Renfail rant over on Twitch for 5,000 channel points and says, Starfield is not Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and vice versa. People should not automatically hate Starfield because it's not Elder Scrolls and Fallout, and they should understand that it has its own game with its own identity. This is great, and it ties into 2 videos that I have produced on YouTube over the years, which I like to refer back to. We may have talked about, I think we talked about this a little earlier in the stream, which is comparison is the thief of joy. When Avowed launched, the haters and the naysayers kept ranting on and on about how Avowed wasn't Skyrim. Avowed wasn't Oblivion, and they kept trying to make all of these comparisons between Avowed and Oblivion and Skyrim, right? And anybody who actually understands Obsidian Entertainment knows that Obsidian Entertainment makes Obsidian Entertainment games. Bethesda makes Bethesda games. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red game. Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect, BioWare game. Different companies make different games. We want different companies making different games. We don't want every game to be a carbon copy of another game, because if it did, every single game we played would just be another carbon copy clone of Call of Duty and Fortnite. So, comparison is the thief of joy was the video I made during that time span, talking about how we should not be comparing Avowed to anything other than Obsidian games, because it is an Obsidian game. Furthermore, Avowed was a risk for Obsidian because the previous 2 entries in the Pillars of Eternity universe, the world of Aora, were turn-based, well, real-time with pause, optional turn-based. Actually, I have to take that slightly back. They were top-down isometric games in the style of Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate, the original games. Both of them were real-time with pause. The second game ended up with a turn-based mode, and as a matter of speaking, today, actually, they just launched the turn-based mode for the first Pillars of Eternity game. Something that Obsidian Entertainment has been doing since the beginning is they have always been willing to take risks and build new IPs, which is why they have Outer Worlds, Grounded, Pentiment. What was the one they did where you played the evil characters? Tyranny, I think is what it was called. Tyranny. Obsidian Entertainment takes risks. They make new worlds and new IPs, and they're not afraid to do something different, which is a struggle for some people because they want everything to be a carbon fucking copy of everything else. because their little smooth brains can't handle things when they are different. So even if you compare Avowed, if you look at Avowed plays exactly like Outer Worlds and Grounded. It's the exact same thing. But it was different than the first two Pillars of Eternity games, even though it was set in the same world, because they wanted to do something different. They wanted to try something and experiment with it. Avowed is a great game. The only thing you should be comparing Avowed to is other Obsidian games. End of story. So the first and foremost video I could talk about is comparison to The Thief of Joy. Go watch that video. It's a very informative look at why we shouldn't be comparing games to other games, because you need to be able to accept and embrace that each game is what it is. Correct. This dives in. I saw something scroll by in chat right now where someone said these are the same type of people who claim that Bethesda should leave the Creation Engine behind and start using the Unreal Engine or something. Those are people who fundamentally don't understand what makes a Bethesda game a Bethesda game. The Creation Engine is very much it's a DNA core of what they make and how the modding scene and how creations as a modding system exists. Thanks for that super chat, Jules. What would be my last meal? Off the top of my head, cowboy cut, medium rare, loaded baked potato, Caesar salad, garlic bread, and a bottle of probably some form of Chianti, and a badass cheesecake. So the first thing is people who can't accept that other games are different. They don't want... So when they see a new game come out, they immediately go, as Astro W was asking, Starfield wasn't Elder Scrolls, it wasn't Fallout, therefore I don't like it because I wanted it to be Elder Scrolls, I wanted it to be Fallout. Comparison is the thief of joy. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the expectations thing we were talking about earlier. I have a different video up about this, talking about why I don't ever have expectations coming in. Because if I know that my favorite band... Bubbleonia is in chat, by the way. Bubbleonia is a musician. If Bubbleonia is about to drop a new album, then I know he's been working on the album for the past 3 years. And I'm looking at Bubblonia's new album, and I'm already in my mind saying, I hope it's like the past 3 albums, because I really liked those. But what if Bubbleonia decides that he doesn't want to do a hard rock album for his... Let's say his first 3 albums were hard rock, then he decides he wants to make a musical switch and create a jazz album, right? Which is his prerogative as an artist. If I have built up in my head that he is doing a specific thing, and then he does something that's a little bit different, if I have built up pre-expectations in my mind, and that comes out and it's something that's a little bit different, aka it wasn't Elder Scrolls, it wasn't Fallout, god damn it, Avowed wasn't another top-down, just like the first Pillars of Eternity games, like, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment because you've got these expectations set in your head. The only thing you should be doing is saying, hey, Bethesda's working on a new game. I like Bethesda games. I'm excited for whatever it is that they bring to the table. And only after it comes out and after you have played it, should you then have feelings on what it is or isn't, or what it did or didn't do. So, if you're expecting something to be something before it's ever even come out, that leads to people overhyping things. As an example, Starfield's going to have manual landing and takeoff because people saw cutscenes of ships landing and taking off. Never once did anywhere in any of the marketing for Starfield did they ever talk about it being manually landing and taking off on their ships. Ever. And yet, people had expectations that this was going to be another flight sim. Correct. If you have low expectations, you'll never be let down. This is why I don't ever look at upcoming projects and have expectations. I just say, I know I like the games that that company produces. I love BioWare. I love Larian Studios. I love Bethesda. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love Middle Earth. I already know going into whatever the series or the film or the game or the book or the or the comic book or whatever it is that it's going to be, I already know going into it that I'm going to love those things because I'm a fan of those franchises and those IPs. So some of the expectation is on people because they've hyped themselves up into thinking that something is what it isn't. But finally, and I think this is probably the most important part of that equation, which I think we did another video on this a while back. If you look at the history of Bethesda as a game studio, they have traditionally published a major game every 4 to 5 years. Across the entire, like, I could go to the wiki right now and look at their publishing history for the past 40 years, and they publish brand new major IP chapters every 4 to 5 years. Now, when the company first started going, it was only Elder Scrolls stuff. That was their big franchise at the beginning. And then they bought the rights to Fallout, and they introduced Fallout. So in the early days, it would be Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls. And then it became Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Fallout. And then they started another IP, which is Starfield. So then it went Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Starfield. Thanks, Joe California. 14 months on Twitch. Appreciate that. So what you have is a bunch of people who are in their, say, mid-30s right now, who played Skyrim 15 years ago, right? It's been 15 years for Skyrim, I think. So they were 20 years old when Skyrim came out for the very first time, right? When you are 20 years old, you have emotions associated with things, right? I often joke about, I get in trouble sometimes for being a little crass with this joke, but like, I'll tell it a slightly different way. The first time any of us ever got laid, male or female, there were some pretty strong emotions tied to the first time we ever had that first encounter, right? The first time any of us had a sexual experience. There are strong emotions associated with that. Some people mistake those emotions as love. It's just emotions. It's hormones. It's, I'm 20 years old, I'm 15 years old, I'm 18 years old, I'm 22, I'm 19, I'm a young adult. My body is full of all these things, these emotions and these brain juices and dopamine, and oh my god, this made me feel so fucking good. And we associate those feelings with that event. For some people, it's a video game. And so for a lot of people who Skyrim was that formative game for them, so they love Skyrim so much, they want more of Skyrim, because who doesn't want more sex? Getting laid rocks. Like, we all want to have more sex, right? So they want more of that. And then they didn't get it. They got Fallout. And they went, eh. And then the next game they did, it still wasn't Elder Scrolls. It was a space game. And they went, fuck you, Todd Howard. Fuck you. Bethesda hasn't made a good game since 2002. That is a huge part of the problem with a certain demographic within the Bethesda community, because they have these emotions associated with that first big game that they played, which was either Skyrim or Fallout 4, right? Those are usually the two that most people will say, this was the last good game that Bethesda ever made. It's usually Fallout 4 or Skyrim. And the reason for both of those is largely because of those people who have not matured into actual adults, and they're still stuck on that emotional high that they got the first time they ever got laid, aka played Skyrim. And so they're still chasing that feeling. That is a huge part of why you see people saying things like, Starfield sucks, it wasn't Elder Scrolls, it wasn't Fallout, it's been 15 years, Todd. You lied to us. Blah. Just make another Elder Scrolls already. Your company sucks. All the cool people left. Blah. Starfield sucks. Blah, 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 blah. There's a huge portion of that at play. So, it is a complicated issue, but since we're doing a rant, we obviously can get a little hyperbolic about things, because that's the purpose of a rant. We like to be entertaining with these rants. So yeah, Astro Dibby. there's a lot of different things at play, but I would argue that most of it probably comes down to nostalgia and people who played their favorite Bethesda game when they were 20 years old or 19 years old, and they just haven't ever gotten over it, and they're still chasing that emotional feeling. So, Voodoo says movie night with Renfell would be legendary. I don't talk during movies, but the after party for the movies is always fun because we always have good discussions. Anyway, great Renfell rant from AstroDibby. And if you missed any of this, guys, don't worry. These always get ported out over to YouTube after the fact. So you can always follow along there. Matter of fact, this is a great time to remind everybody who might be tuning in for the first time that everything we do happens on YouTube in between the streams. But we are always live on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. We do 2 streams a day. We start every morning at about 5 a.m. Central and do it again at about 1 p.m. Central. Each time I go live, it's about 3 to 4 hours. I do lots of game guides, movie discussions, TV shows, books, all sorts of game guides, reviews, all sorts of fun stuff like this, the Renfail rant series. All that stuff happens on YouTube in between the streams. There's a Discord, there's a Patreon, there's a merch store, there's an Amazon store for books I've done. I've built games, I've done travel blogging. There's a homestead channel if you want to follow along with my wife and I and all of our ducks and chickens and cats. Hay mucho contenido en español en el otro canal. There's all the socials and all that good stuff, so follow along in all the places. This is the day job. We are in our 5th year of full-time content creation and streaming. Is Starfield a role-play game? It's whatever you want it to be. Alright, now I get to go catch up on chat because I never read chat that much when I'm... Studman says, I told my cousin who's about to play this and was talking of comparisons, all I had to say was you need to go into this with a blank slate and you will have fun. People thought Starfield was going to be a Star Citizen killer, and instead it was Freelancer on steroids. People did this to themselves? I highly agree, Cheyenne. I knew it wasn't love. Your brain doesn't stop growing until 25? Correct. Mr. Posey says it's like making an album. If a band doesn't repeat themselves again and again, some hate anything new. Joe California says, I prefer single-player sex, aka Skyrim, and not the orgy, aka... So... Is this like Mass Effect? Not really. I mean, there are similarities that you could draw, but I could also draw similarities with any science fiction RPG, so... Maybe, you know, because A, it's not a party-based RPG. Mass Effect is a party-based RPG. Here, you do have a companion, but you don't have a party. You have one person who's with you, but you can also go alone. You can't do that in Mass Effect, because the game is balanced around having a party of, is it 3? Brings a whole new... Oh, man. That brings a whole new... No, it brings a whole new meaning to Skyrimming. Oh, Jesus. That's hilarious. Oh, my God. Lucas wants to know how many Bethesda developers did we ban from chat today. Oh, my God. Oh, Bloody says, did we just become best friends? I'll take that last meal and substitute a bottle of Quinta dos Carvajal's 10-year port. I haven't had port in a long time. What's up, Gray? Eternal says it was Fallout 3 for me. My first Bethesda game was Morrowind, and I loved that game to death, but I cannot actually play it in the modern era because the graphics are absolutely dog shit. But I will also be the first to admit that if they did a remastered version of Morrowind in the Unreal Engine like they did with the Obsidian, or Oblivion remaster, I would probably go play it. As long as the gameplay was updated to modern quality of life features. Alright, I think we've caught up on everything. I'm going to push back hard on that one, Eternal. Hopefully these new updates and DLC will make Starfield what it was advertised to be at its original launch, at least. If, yeah, that is, yeah, no. I'm going to push back hard on that. Starfield was never anything other than it was advertised as. From launch. The only people who claimed that it wasn't as advertised was people who misunderstood or misread or misinterpreted the marketing materials leading up to this game. Anybody who claims that Bethesda lied, Todd Howard lied, or that they did false advertising, or that the game wasn't as promised when it came out is fundamentally, I'm going to say this bluntly, full of shit. Because all they ever did from the beginning was advertise exactly what the game is. A Bethesda game in space. They never promised anything that wasn't delivered. There were people who misinterpreted things. But I can tell you, as someone who religiously followed this game for years leading up to its launch, I did not at any point in time ever see them say anything that they did not deliver on in the game. And I can also say this as someone who has worked in game developing and publishing and etc. and marketing. Like, there was everything that they claimed it was going to be was in the game at launch. So I am going to push back hard on that shit because it's just fundamentally not true. Isn't it on Bethesda to make that clear when advertising it? Again, they did make it clear. You just misinterpreted or misunderstood what was being said. So that is not a them problem, that is a you problem for not understanding what was being said or choosing to willfully misinterpret the advertising of the game. Again, we talked about the people who thought that they were getting a flight simulator and they thought that they were going to be able to manually take off and land their ships. Not once was that ever promised as a feature, and yet you have people claiming that Bethesda lied. Todd has a tendency to hyperbolize. Yeah, we're going to ban a troll, kids. Bye-bye. See ya. Does he get the music, kids? I think he gets the music.
Strong hand, fist of iron, judgment falls. Hearts are dying, banhammer strikes. Tears like rain, justice served. Feel their pain.
My favorite thing is when people claim that Todd's a liar. Because that is the default response to anybody who says that Starfield wasn't the game that it was supposed to be. Todd Howard lied to me. He lied. He hyperbolized. He fed me misinformation. Yeah. So, my job, if I'm marketing the game, is to hype you up for that game. How am I going to hype you up for that game? I'm going to talk about the things I love about that game. And I'm going to be excited about those things when I tell it to you. And I'm going to use hand movements and I'm going to be excited as I'm talking to you because I love it. That's what I'm here to do. I'm excited about the thing. It is not my responsibility to explain the meaning of English words. If English isn't your first language, it's acceptable. But there is, especially in the United States, where there are consumer protection laws against false advertising. Oh, he is absolutely cagey about things. But that's not hyperbolic. That's him being a really good marketing dude. That's why he is who he is and why his company has been as successful and why his games have been as successful as they have been. Because that's what a PR guy does. That's what the lead singer of the band is supposed to do. They're supposed to sell tickets, get people into the show, hype people up. That's their job, right? And if you've ever worked in marketing, you know that when you work in marketing, your job is to hype people up. That's your job. But if there was ever any sort of false advertising or any of that stuff that people claim happened, they would be in court being sued for false advertising. That's never fucking happened. The same people are butthurt because why did you show that trailer for Elder Scrolls 6, 8 years ago if you weren't actually ready to launch it? Whatever. Oh, I'm totally going to get accused of, like, I'm already accused of being a paid shill, so let's get that out of the way right now, kids. I am 100% a paid shill. I get paid to play video games for a living. I am a paid shill for every single company I play games for. It's true. I get sponsored to stream games. I get sponsored to do reviews. I am a paid shill, 100%. 100%. I own a pair of knee pads. They are very well used. I am skilled in the art of the reach around. I know how to juggle a couple of balls, work the shaft. I'm really good at what I do. You wish you could be this good at what you did. Because otherwise, you know, just saying. You'd be in the same place I am if you were actually skilled at what you did. But instead, you're stuck in your mom's basement crying about, they lied to me about a video game. He lied. We all get paid for our jobs. We are all paid simps. We are all paid shills for the companies we work for. Get the fuck over it. I'm so good at it, I get paid for it. You're goddamn right. Correct, Garrett. Most of the he lied stuff comes from people who misinterpreted what was being said. Bubbleland says the hard part is explaining exactly what something is. People determine to imagine it as something else. Oh yeah, I'm a small fry, and I get people every single day who will tell me that I was wrong when I say something in a video, and they will then explain to me in the comment why I was wrong and how their interpretation of what I said is correct. And I just always have to laugh at those people and tell them, your misinterpretation of what I said is not my problem. It's not. Ooh, what's in this big box? Oh, that is seized cargo. Mom! Todd Howard said this game was gonna have all these things in it and I need cuddles because I was lied to. Mom! Todd lied to me! Can you tuck me in my bed? My life is horrible because Todd lied. Oh my god, you guys are crazy. This is hilarious. Chat is lit tonight. This is great. Of all the RPGs I've played, who are your top 3 favorite companions? Oh, wow.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated from
Top 3. I don't know if I could. I will say in recent years, Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the best romance. Not only romance, but the redemption arc. The redemption arc for Shadowheart and Jennifer English's performance as that character. That's one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in a video game before. And she has won a bunch of awards since then that are well deserved, but goddamn if I don't think she deserved it more for her Shadowheart presentation than anything else she's ever done. Because Shadowheart was great. That one stands out to me. I am also a Yennefer of Angerberg simp. Hardcore. And I did not know until after Andor aired that was Daedra, the same actress. I had no clue. So Yennefer of Angerberg is up there for me. And she's not really a companion though. Maybe that's stretching the rules because you asked me favorite companions. Because she's not really a companion. She's just a romance option. Yeah, I'm going to just say Shadowheart. Karth in Knights of the Old Republic. When you first get off the ship and you're looking for Bastila and Karth. Yeah, that's another good one. Oof, companions. I'm going to have to go to the Mass Effect franchise next. And probably... Ooh. I think, especially if we're talking over the course of the whole franchise, I would say Tali-Zora. Tali's romance arc across the entirety of the Mass Effect trilogy is up there as well for me. Especially when you get to see her face in Mass Effect 3. Yeah, Morrigan and Dragon. See, now this is a conversation that could go on for hours, guys. Morrigan and Dragon Age Origins, 100%. Varric in Dragon Age 2. Oh, yeah. Garrus, like, yeah, especially, yeah, there's some really good, like, you can't, there's no wrong options in Mass Effect. Dusty. I do love my Andreja romance in this game.
Hey,
I have heard
this
good
really
things
isn't a
about
good
Sam
place for
Crow, everybody.
civilians to be hanging around.
But I am a sucker for
something I can
Andreja
help you
because
with?
that's my type. But I told everybody earlier today that I'm going to go outside of my normal. I'm going to do a Samco romance in my PS5 playthrough starting tomorrow. I'm gonna do a Samco romance because I've never seen it and I've heard that the Samco romance is really, really good. So we're going to do it. But I do want to switch to the robot companion once we get to him because I just need someone to mod him so that he runs around calling everybody meatbag. We've got some cargo that was impounded. I need access to it.
Yeah, I can't really just let you in there.
I'm being nice by asking first.
Is that a threat?
I don't think you really get it. Let me break it down for you.
Nah, that's okay. I think I got it.
I think I got it. I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, look, don't tell anyone I did this for you.
See,
I could lose my job over it.
that's true. That's true. So what we
Anyone
don't know.
asks, I had nothing to
Hang
do
on,
with
hang on.
this.
Let me
Got it?
retrace my steps really quick because I forgot that I said this earlier today. I said I want to do Samco, but if Muria
All right, make
is
it
a
quick.
romance option, I'm gonna pick Muria above Samco. But we don't know if Muria is gonna be a romance option. We just know that she's gonna be a companion. So we have not had any confirmation that she is a romanceable companion. If she is a romanceable companion, I am 100% going with the goth chick. Because I love her commentary. And technically, Vasco could be a romance companion right now. All you need is a little bit of lube and some downtime. He's got plenty of open ports. We'll be doing the same tomorrow. The difference tomorrow will be I'm not going to start at 5 o'clock in the morning like I normally do. We're going to start a little bit later. But tomorrow morning when I go live, everybody, we're going to be starting on the Xbox, hanging out for a couple of hours until the update drops. And then as soon as we're able to get over to the PS5, we're going to start our PS5 playthrough from scratch. It's going to depend on what time we start. I traditionally don't do very long sessions because of my eye doctor's recommendations to try to keep things down to 4-hour minimums or maximums. So we'll just see how I feel tomorrow. But the idea is that if I sleep in and we start the stream around 7 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, the update goes live. So we'll hang out for a couple of hours here. And then as soon as the PS5 update goes live, assuming there's not a day one patch, we should be able to just start right away. There might be a day one patch. I don't know. If there's not a day one patch, then we're just going to run in and we're just going to literally hop on over to the PS5 and start our playthrough during the middle of the stream. But I will be doing at least 4 hours tomorrow morning, like we always do. And then another 4 hours or so in the afternoon. And Starfield is going to be the only game we play for the next 7 days, guys. I've got it till the 14th. The 14th is when Replaced and Hades 2 drop on Xbox Game Pass. So we're going to be playing only Starfield in the morning and afternoon sessions for the next 7 days. And then once those two games drop, we'll be doing Starfield in the morning sessions, and we'll be trying out Hades 2 in the afternoon, and definitely doing a full playthrough of Replaced, because I really freaking love the demo for that. That'll be in the afternoons on the 14th. And then on the 28th, we've got the Diablo 4 DLC, Lord of Hatred. I just finished my Paladin prep yesterday. We're going to do some seasonal content, probably on Sundays, to keep him going. And then on the 30th, we've got Saros on the PS5. So we've got a busy, busy month of April ahead of us, but nothing but clear skies and Starfield for the next 7 days.
Let me know if I can get you anything.
I did watch it. I
Hey
watched it
there,
after my
new
nap,
guy.
Bubbles.
Hope life is treating you
Explorer just
well.
yelled
Let
at me
know
over
if
on
I can get
TikTok,
you
said, just
anything.
play the game, man. And I'm going to say, hey, Explorer, fuck you. I don't want to play the game. I'm having way too much goddamn fun talking to my community and engaging with my chat. If you want to watch somebody who just brainlessly plays the game and doesn't interact with their chat, go watch a different fucking streamer. Fuck you. Get fucked.
Strong hand, fist of iron, judgment falls. Hearts are dying, banhammer strikes. Tears like rain, justice served. Feel their pain.
As much fun as this is, I
You could
really
play with my
eventually
middle
have another
finger.
customer to deal with. Oh, no way. You really got it? I probably don't want to know what you did to get this, right? I mean, I want to know, but it's maybe better if I don't.
Don't worry, no one died.
I certainly hope not. This is a huge deal to me, but it's not worth either of us murdering over. Well, look, I can assure this will all be worth it in the end. Matter of
Dreadpool says,
fact,
ha, so
I'm
friendly
going to
streamer.
let
Get
you
fucked,
have the
cockswaggler.
first ever sample.
You talking
On
to me,
top of that,
Dreadpool?
you get free drinks. Not.
Did
not
you just
like
call me a
unlimited free
cockswaggler, or are you
drinks,
calling the other guy a
but you want
cockswaggler?
a
Because
little pick-me-up
let's
now and then?
the way you typed
There
that
you
made
go.
it sound like you're calling me the
I need some
cockswaggler.
time to work on what comes next.
And if you're calling me the
This-
cockswaggler, well, we're
this
gonna
was
have
the
to
difficult part, I
sort you
think.
out.
Really?
Now, if you're calling the
Thank
other
you
guy the
so
cockswaggler,
much.
then we're all cool. By the way, courtesy of Bubbloading Rising, he was the one who made that song about a year ago. By the way, I'm not your friend, guys. I can be a friendly person, but I am not your friend instantly upon you entering, and I am not here to jump when you say jump. You're here to watch me do what I want to do. This is my show.
See, this only works if we
What's
both
up,
go.
champion?
Otherwise, I'm just giving a speech.
The replaced demo is available. I played it a couple months ago, I think. Shiny says, I often play with myself. Alright, there you go, Dreadpill. See, I knew you were cool. I picked up a few words. So where's my notebook? I actually picked up 2 new words. Where did my notebook go? Oh, it's right in front of me. Jesus. There were 2 new words that I got from Crimson Desert. Cunt Knuckle and Cockweasel. were the two words that I learned from that game. I was like, I've never heard either one of those. Cunt, knuckle, and cockweasel.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I
Welcome to
guess
the
I
guild
won't.
over on YouTube, Vincent Williams. You are now one of the only Rens members. That is true, guys. Everybody, 3 days ago, because of Lou, we changed the base membership on YouTube is now called Only Rens. So you're now a proud member of the Only Rens community. And there are lots of private videos, just not that kind of private videos. Yes, Starfield is using PSSR. There's a blog post on Bethesda's website, which has information about all the PS5 stuff. Go check it out at your leisure. All right, I am gonna take
I will eventually have another customer to deal with.
No Que Rico videos. Hang on, I gotta finish up with her.
Catch you later.
I need to take 5, everybody. I gotta go feed the cats. Leia is scratching at my door incessantly, so I gotta go feed all my animals. We'll be about 5 minutes, so while you're waiting, go watch the new update video that Bethesda launched, which is a really cool animated short for the Terran Armada DLC. And if you haven't already done so, make sure to get over to YouTube, follow along there, because everything in between the streams happens there. Don't forget all the socials. Excuse me. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, X, Blue Sky, blah, 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 Discord and stuff. We'll be back in a few, everybody. Have fun. I'll be back. My wife just told me to let everybody know. It is like super windy outside, and if the internet goes out or something because of the wind, I'll be back as quickly as I can. We might lose power though because there's a big old thunderstorm moving in. I'll be back ASAP. The hype is real. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, as much as I was as excited for this game when it came out, the new updates are pretty cool. I kind of, the way I feel about this is like, if you've ever been somebody who's played a lot of, like, if you're a long-term World of Warcraft player or something like that, and you've ever played, like, you know, there's an expansion coming, and you're like, you love the game, but you're also looking forward to the thing that's coming. It's like, you already know you're going to enjoy it because it's an expansion that adds on to something you already enjoy. So I've already been enjoying this game for a long time. Honestly, if they wouldn't have done the PS5 launch, I would have just continued my other character. But when they had made the announcement that they were going to do this on the PS5, it was like, well, duh. Why not? Let's do a from scratch playthrough and have fun all over again. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Alright, let me check. No King Ricos. The PS Store even says PS5 Pro enhanced. Correct, there are PS5 Pro enhancements to this game. Guard says, my Dune Awakenings Discord has an Only Sans channel. Nice. I'm going to do my Space Cowboy character again. So it'll be a, what is it? The, space something. He starts off with pistols, persuasion, and ship piloting, I think. I can't remember the exact name of the background. I mentioned it in the video I did the other day, and I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But there are lots of really good options. Yeah, it's my space captain. It's my Han Solo. It's my Captain Mao, man. Scoundrel, that's what it is, yeah. Scoundrel. It's my Captain Mao. It's my Han Solo. Man, you guys got me thinking about Mass Effect again, because we did that playthrough about 18 months back, and that Tally romance just is so good. We were talking about companions earlier, and I'm just sitting here thinking about it again. They need to hurry up and release Light No Fire, because I mean, I like No Man's Sky, but I would really like to play Light No Fire. You just started binge watching the X-Files from the season 1 onwards? That's a big binge. Ooh, you have not explored every system along this route. Ooh, really? Oh my, we're going to a new place, everybody. This is going to be a bit of a jump. The new Xbox, the new X-Files reboot sounds really good. I am looking forward to it. I need to set a course here. The last time I watched everything on the X-Files all the way through would probably have been...
So, Miss Stay Up Late.
2009?
We're here, hot off the stellar slide.
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth.
I think it would have been 2009 because I got hired by a client who was building like an X-Files wiki. And I literally got hired to rewatch the X-Files and write Wikipedia entries about the episodes. That was one of the coolest projects of my writing career. Not the coolest, one of the coolest for sure.
Switching over to standard engines.
Because that was like 6 months or so of just building a Wikipedia for the X-Files. I think that was the last time I watched all those episodes. That was a long time ago. I really am looking forward to the reboot, though.
Yeah, what is it?
Yes, we're here. Look at those beautiful stars.
I love because this has such a huge glass platform that Sam's just like walking around. What's up, buddy? The wild thing about going back and watching the X-Files now, too, is like if you... Oh, what kind of a ship is that? Is that just a junker? I think that's just a junker. God, I'm going so fast we overshot him. What kind of ship is that? That looks like just a junker. If you go back and watch the X-Files from when it aired, you'll see so many people who weren't famous who were like guesting on that show. Same thing with like Star Trek The Next Generation. You'll see so many names on that show who went on to become big actors in their own right. Seinfeld? Yep. Star Wars Outlaws is a phenomenal game. Glad you're having fun.
I love the feeling after a perfect jump.
Fine. You know what, Robin? Fine. You win. I'll ask this random stranger in a day
Nope.
rate.
No desire to get involved in your marital spat. Yeah, Kelsey Grammer totally guest starred in TNG. Yep. Alright, let's go blow some space pirates out of their base. Take their shit.
No flora, no fauna. It's very lacking in color.
Ooh, what kind of ruins are these? There's like some sort of production facility on this planet. Interesting. Anybody else? Dun, 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 dun. Thorgan's ears must have been burning. Take that. Shrimp. I don't see anybody else over there. We are almost there. Yes, we are. Calm relay, I'll take that. Bubbles, are you streaming tonight? Gray, are you streaming tonight? Thorgan, are you streaming tonight? Anybody streaming tonight?
There's nothing here. Are you sure? Keep looking. I've been looking. It's just not here. Listen, the boss said it's here, so it's here.
Commander Golden Samurai says, I give you great credit for taking up Star Wars Outlaws again. I bought that game on release, but struggled with controls a bit and went on to other things. Watching your stream convinced me to learn it again. I'm well on my way. Well, I will also say, Commander Samurai, kudos to Massive Entertainment, because they also did a ton of feedback-based patching after the game went live. Fixing things like the forced stealth missions and getting rid of those so that you could run and gun if you wanted to. They added more save points. They streamlined the controls. The first 8 months was them just doing quality of life improvements and working on feedback patches before they ever rolled out like the DLCs and stuff. So I'm glad you went back to it. It's a much better game today than it was when it launched, but it's just a phenomenal game. Like Star Wars Outlaws is one I will hands down tell people, yes, it's worth it. Buy the Ultimate Edition, play the game and the DLCs. I would happily play it a second. I've done a partial second. I didn't finish it because we were busy with other things. But I would happily. That's one I looked at for Christmas when I do my Christmas holiday playthroughs. That is one of the ones I am debating replaying around Christmas time. Is going to be a full replay of Star Wars Outlaws. I don't know if that's what I will do at the holidays, but it's one of the ones that's high up on the list because it's a phenomenal game. Gray is going to be streaming. No, Gray is not streaming tonight. Gray is making a guide, but not streaming. Jules says he might stream. Mulbunny says, I am streaming tonight at 9. Going to record the creation recommendations for Starfield while I'm streaming. So definitely stay tuned for that one, guys, because everybody who keeps asking me about recommended mods, Bubbles is going to record that video for everybody. Oh, I fully expect a lot of people tuning in right now will be too busy playing the game to watch the streams. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
In this battle.
What the? Head up! I got you! Keep him pinned! Oh, great. We got a magician here.
Oh, that like bounced off the wall. Oh, I thought that was like a I thought it was like a drop off, like a landing or something. Alright, Samira will take care of Sahima's gonna take care of all that stuff for me while I go figure out the loot situation in here. Ooh, an expert locked. Hold up, what's beyond here? That room is full of ammo and goodies.
We will dig them out.
Alright. You watch my back, girlfriend.
Cowards, all of them.
They are cowards. Eliminate unused keys, please. Thank you very much. Storage checklist. Very much. I already have one of those. Don't need that. I'll take that. Take that. Take that. You know what? I need to give you a better gun. Your pistol's not cutting it.
All the accursed will be made to dust.
That's right. Ashes to ashes, mofos. Ooh, there's a digipick. Alright, you know what? Let's give you something different.
I don't know if it was the right call to end the Serpent's crusade. But what can I take for you, Captain?
This gun. What do I want to give her? I don't really have anything that I want to give her, to be honest with you. We could give her this. What does this use? There's a bug in here. A 9x 39 ammo. Let's give her this and see how she works. That is 9x39 mm ammo. 9x39. Oop, 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 oop. Let's give her all of it. Sahima, my dear. Take that from you. Take that from you. And I want you to use that.
Until we are all promised.
Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's see how that rifle works for you. Any magazines? There's a data pad. Chunks. It'll do a body good. Oh, that is a cool ass painting. Dude, I wish I could take some of these art pieces and bring them back to my pad. That art, it's hard to see it because of the but here, there we go. We can look at it from the side without the glare. Right? That's a cool ass piece of art. I think that was I joked about this the other day. That was the question I asked Todd when we were doing the Q&A was, I know you can't answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What are the chances of getting a Starfield MMO? And he gave me the PR answer, which was, well, you know, we're always having conversations, and we never like to say no to anything. Who knows what the future holds? I was like, that's the best PR answer of all time. So you're not saying no. So there's not a 0% chance. Like, what you're saying is... But hang on, I'm supposed to then take that as confirmation that he's working on Starfield MMO, and then when it doesn't happen, I then talk about how he lied to me, right? Nice, Gray. So Gray's working on his Mantis guide video. So stay tuned for that. And Bubbleonia Rising is going to be streaming tonight at 9 Mountain, recording the video on creation mods for those of you who want to know more about what mods you should be playing. Or what mods you might want to play with. Not that you should be playing, but what mods you might want to consider using. Then it looks like Arcane Gearsmith also published a video on some of the new Steam achievements and stuff that are coming out. We got ESO, we got Fallout 76. There are options, but I would happily take a Starfield MMO personally. Should you get Watchtower or Trackers Alliance? I mean, that's entirely up to you. Even Peter Molyneux has never fibbed. He has definitely said some things that have been taken out of context. But get both if you can afford them. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think there are some people you can look at. You know, Peter Molyneux has definitely overpromised. I don't think anyone could accuse him of false advertising, but definitely overpromising. That one I will agree on that one. I will agree that he has definitely overpromised on a couple of projects. All right, so let's see here. Hang on, guys. I'm catching up on a couple of things before we go any further. Holy shit, what have you guys been eating? I was just noticed something, and my YouTube on my phone pinged me. The analytics are off the chart. Y'all are hungry for Starfield, apparently. It's a good time to be a Starfield fan. Anyway, I want that painting, everybody. Oh, also I will say, one of the coolest things I saw at Bethesda while I was there. Let me pull this up really quick. I think I have this. I haven't published these videos yet, but I recorded a bunch of footage while I was there. Let me grab this really quick. Where did I put these videos? Downloads. I know I've got them in my Google Drive, but I don't know if I have them here. Oh, here it is. Downloads. Drive. Where did I take? This has audio in it. See, that's a crappy video. Well, here, I can kind of... This is a bad video. This is one of the things I didn't publish from my trip because my phone was not being friendly with me. But I can show you guys briefly. This is one of the coolest things was when we were walking around. So they have all of these original prints of like images and paintings. These are all these different paintings and also like just epic screenshots from the games that they've produced that are all over the walls at Bethesda at their headquarters. And it's just like there's tons of Starfield art and other stuff. There is this one here. I gotta hide that really quick. There's this one that shows an art. It's this. Did I get a vertical shot or is it only a horizontal one? Yeah. So I never did a. Yeah. Hang on. This is a vertical video, but this will show you what I'm talking about here. I haven't published this video yet, so this is supposed to go out on my social media channels. I just have never pushed it out.
This is probably one of the coolest pieces of art I've seen.
It's a hand painting.
That's even cooler than this piece of art right here, which is you come over here. There's an actual model.
I didn't find out until afterwards. This is the model that
you gotta love, man.
That he
That's
built.
Some cool stuff, but I love this artwork.
Yeah, this artwork is so
just
cool.
The detail with Vasco down there and everything. It's good stuff.
So I've never published that on. That'll go out on social media at some point one of these days. But that is the actual model that Adam Savage built on the tested YouTube channel before the game went live. And they actually have a special room where they have all their trophies and stuff. And in that room, they're working on a case where they're going to be displaying that ship with all of its stuff. Yeah, it's really cool stuff, man. But that painting was really, really cool stuff. Hold on. Joe California says you can craft these posters in the game. Vanilla or mod, I don't remember how. What? Correct. I did not sleep for like 3 days, but you never sleep when you're on a trip like that. When you go to a conference or you don't sleep. You sleep when you get home. Anyway, I should publish that on my social media. Maybe tomorrow we'll do that on social media to just celebrate the launch of the game on the PS5. We could do some behind the scenes. Because that was a really cool art print. Anytime Chris and I have ever gone to a conference, like when we're going to like do a presentation or something, you just don't sleep. You're there to work. You can sleep when you get home. You're being paid good money, or they are paying lots of money to bring you in. You have a responsibility to show up and not suck. And so you just drink a bunch of coffee and make sure you take your vitamins so you don't get sick. Take out the pirates while they're taking a nap. And move on about your day. There are some in the outpost decorations, but I'm not sure about the houses. I'm going to dig into that more. I don't feel compelled to open another safe. Oh, I saw somebody around the corner. Hello? Big bad space pirate? Sorry, Seema. I'm sorry. So sorry. Oh no, you ran right into it. You can't imagine buying a PS5 because you've got a god tier PC. Well, I'm sorry that you have a superiority complex, Frankie Tanky 5076. I not only have 2 god tier PCs, I also have a PS5 Pro and an Xbox Series X, and I will always choose to play on my consoles above my god tier PCs. Because I don't suffer from a superiority complex. I play where it's the most accessible to play. And when a game comes out on a new platform, I am more than happy to play it on that new platform if it's a game I like. So if you want to flex, I will outflex you every single time. But we do not believe in the master PC race in my community. About 80% of the games I play are on the Xbox Series X with my Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Come on, pirate boss. Get in here so I can pew pew with my burning lasers. He just said I lose. Ha! There he is. Bye-bye! You went down as fast as so-and-so's mom. Oh, don't worry. There's more mom jokes where that one came from, kids. Stick around long enough. You'll hear some more. Gray says, as a PC gamer myself, I think I've converted into loving the console. Oh, for me, it's a simple. I've explained this before in my series, and I get people ask all the time. I can't. So you can play max settings on a console as well. Hey, Frankie, one of the things we don't do in my channel is we don't do the master PC race thing. So just make sure you're aware. You're barking up the wrong tree. Because all the things you claim are just, I get max 4K settings on my consoles as well. Like, it's not a, you're acting like your flex is a flex. It's not a flex. It's great that you prefer gaming on a PC, but it's not the superiority thing that you think it is. And it hasn't been for decades. I know that you're proud of your $5,000 PC, but it ain't all that. Correct. A 5000 series card does not make it God tier. The reality is that for the average person, and we've discussed this, but I feel that the need to bring it out since we have somebody trying to flex about how PCs are so superior. The average gamer does not want to spend $5,000, let alone $3,000 to run something in 4K resolution. They just want to, they can go out and spend $1,000 and you can get an Xbox Series X or a base PS5 Pro for under $1,000 and have 4K graphics on your home TV. Now, are you going to get the same frames that you get on a $5,000 PC? Nope. And the average gamer does not give a shit because no one cares about max frames other than people who have 1-inch micro penises who sit in their basement and jerk off to how amazing my PC is. I've got 240 frames. Oh. The average gamer doesn't care. They're happy to have a system that they can run that plays their games at 4K resolution on the TV, and they play in their spare time for a couple of hours a day. That's it. Ain't nobody out there giving a crap about spending $5,000 on a gaming PC so they can get 240, 250. I get 300 frames. You're only getting 60. No one cares. No one cares. The human eye can't even detect anything beyond 30-ish. And the reality is, unless you are talking about playing at a professional level in multiplayer competitive gaming, you don't need to worry about anything more than 30 frames per second. It's not real. It's just a marketing ploy to get you to believe that it's better. More frames are better. You're superior. So, I do this for a living. Happy Cloud Gamer says you don't even need a high-end PC anymore because you can subscribe to GeForce Now and you get an amazing hardware like an RTX 5080 for a subscription. There you go. So I do this for a living. I have 2 high-end gaming PCs. I have the stream box that runs my streams, and I have the gaming PC that I run, which I don't play on very often. And I get people all the time, why aren't you playing on a PC? Why are you playing on your Xbox or your console? Because I'm not stupid. It's an economics question. For example, my PlayStation blew up last September, my base PS5. If a PlayStation blows up, it's $700. If my gaming PC blows up, it's $3,500 minimum to replace. If I don't have warranty. And I do have warranties on everything. But what if the warranty's out? What if the PC is 3 years old and the warranty's up and it blows up? It's much cheaper to replace a $1,000 console than it is to replace a $3,500 gaming laptop. So when it comes to the economics of doing this, I'm going to play the things that allow me to get the most amount of man hours out of my machines. I want my gaming PCs to last for 6 to 8 years. So I put as few man hours on those machines as possible because it's economics. It's not about flexing that I have those machines. I have them. I use them occasionally. The only thing I'll use my PCs for is when companies send me keys. Because a lot of the times companies will send me a key to like an early access and it's on Steam only until it launches into 1.0. And so I have to go play the early access on Steam. So that's PC only. But I would argue that 85-90% of what I play is on consoles. And most of that is going to be on Xbox stuff because I get a ton of value out of my Game Pass sub. But I do get a lot of value out of my PlayStation sub as well. So yeah, We don't do the whole master PC race here in our community. We embrace gamers of all types and all budgets. No, the game is not out yet. Well, the game is out, but the DLC and stuff is not out until tomorrow. There you go. $600 USD laptop with cloud gaming. Perfect solution. Perfect solution. Calibrated Star Roamer suit. Oh, that is a big, juicy looking crate. Circuit board. No magazines or folders in here. That's a cool looking chair though. Oh, it's definitely in the millions because it's been the #1 on the PlayStation Store for 3 weeks since it was first announced. I guarantee you Starfield Premium Edition has sold millions of copies. But it's a dead game that no one wants to play. We've already done that guide on YouTube, Morgan. So, yeah, kind of barking up the wrong tree there. I make guides for a living. And I've already done the guide on new player guide for PS5 players coming in who want to max out their piloting right away. Oh, it did not cut. Dun, 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 dun. You can absolutely be a stealth sniper. There is a full stealth line in the game, and there are silenced weapons in the game. Yep, yep, yep. I think we're technically done in here, aren't we? I have no clue because no one knows where in the game Terran Armada sits. So, and the answer that we were given at Bethesda was Shattered Space has a recommended level of 35 plus, but you can bump the game difficulty all the way down and go to Shattered Space at level 1 if you want to. So, but they did say that it's just out there somewhere. And it probably has like a recommended level like Shattered Space. So, but Bethesda doesn't really ever do things where it's like you have to be this level to do it. It'll give you a recommended level, but you can always adjust the difficulty. You're waiting for the mods to be updated? I mean, that's up to you. I don't play with mods, so we're playing vanilla, baby. Ice, ice, baby. Correct, Astro
Can we
Libby.
stop by the museum?
Frames only matter
I
in
want to do all the
online games.
touristy
People who
things.
brag about frames in single-player games are weird. Yep. People who prefer the superiority fetish makes me concerned for them. Yes. But there's an entire like stealth line. My very first character was stealth oriented. So if you want to go stealth, you can. Like you can go in here into skills, physical, and it is, I believe, this line right here is the stealth line. Are there any quests tied to base building? No, it's a standalone thing. Or at least it has been. We have no idea what's coming in the new update or in the Terran Armada DLC. Yes, it will show the recommended level when you get to it. So, like Shattered Space, when you get to the quest starter, it goes into your journal, and then in your journal, it'll have a recommended level if you are too low. So if I go out of here and go to missions, it would say next to it, like, quest, question mark, excuse me, not question mark, it would say quest, parentheses, recommended level 35 plus, parentheses. So it'll be in parentheses next to the name of the quest. It'll give you the recommended level. So, correct. All right, folks. I'm out for the night. I got to go help my wife with some chores outside. There are videos coming out this evening, including the next Renfail rant, which is going to go live right after this stream stops. So if you're not already over on YouTube, you should get over on YouTube, because the video that's coming out is called People Who Refuse to Accept That Not All Games Are For All Players. And that is a Renfail rant from Real Commander Carnage. During tonight's stream, we got a Renfell rant from Astro Libby, I think. I wrote it down. This will be clipped out and it'll go live sometime tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. We also already have tomorrow morning's video. It's called the Starfield PS5 Launch Day Guide for New Players, already out for channel members on YouTube. It'll be going out to the general public tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. I appreciate the kind words, Jay the Gamer. Remember, tomorrow morning, I am not starting my stream at 5 a.m. like I normally do. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow, theoretically. The cats might not let me. But I'm definitely not starting my stream at 5 o'clock. Even if I wake up early, I am going to wait and start my stream around 7 or 8 local time, because the updates go live at 9. So my objective is to come hang out with you guys for an hour or two, playing the Xbox version of the game and just hanging out tomorrow morning while we wait for the countdown. And then as soon as 9 a.m. hits, assuming there's no day one patch, we're going to switch over and start our from scratch playthrough on the PS5. If there is a patch, we will patch and then jump in. But either way, we'll be live again tomorrow with more Starfield, and that is going to be the only thing we do for the next week, so stay tuned. More guides are coming, more streams, more playthroughs, more discussions, more Renfail rants, more things. I have had so much outpouring of support from everybody over the last few days in particular, despite all of the trolls. For those of you who were here early today, we had a really nasty encounter with someone who is psychologically damaged. And I want to say again, I've received a bunch of messages from people after the stream giving me support and kind words, and I really appreciate everybody being here for the right reasons. For those of you who have been here since the beginning, we've got people going back, and I remember when you only had like 4 people watching the streams, and I remember when you only had like 10 people, and we've had absolute ridiculous numbers the past few days because of Starfield. And it has been really cool to see this game grow from where it started when I first called it a meh game, and now it's like my favorite Bethesda game. And I cannot wait for Elder Scrolls 6, but right now we are riding the Starfield hype train all the way to Choo Choo Town. So thanks to everybody for the memberships, the subscriptions, the gifted subs, the Renfail rants, all the things that everybody is doing to support, for tuning in every single time I'm live, morning, noon, and night, for joining the Discord and being a part of that, for hanging out on the Homestead channel, all that good stuff. Thanks for being here. Have a great evening, everybody. Bubbleonia is going to be streaming tonight Starfield and recording information about mods. So make sure you go check out Bubbleonia Rising's stream tonight at 9 p.m. Mountain. Also, Gray, who's in chat, Greyforge, he is working on a guide to the Mantis ship. He is starting to create guides on his YouTube channel. He has been very dedicated streaming Crimson Desert and other things in the last couple of months, working on building up his channel. Please go follow Gray, support him as he builds his channel up. We've got other people like Thorgan in chat. Sweet Pea's been here. They do great things with Starfield. Arcane Gearsmith has put a video up on our Discord earlier with some Starfield stuff. And I probably forgot some people in there, and I apologize because there's way too many people for me to remember. So thanks to everybody for being here and for helping to build an awesome community, and I will see everybody tomorrow for the new updates and lots more Starfield.